question, but I think you try to give guys roles, as some type of role that they're going to fit in and feel valued. And obviously special teams is a valued role, but to me it's a privilege and you have to earn them, so that type of thing. So yeah, it worked out.
I want to, I've highlighted Bowman's quote. That's a line for the ages. Scorers learn, grinders learn to score, and scorers learn to grind. That's excellent. Peter, go ahead.
Gardiner, it's cliche to say that you learn more by losing than you do by winning, but I'm not sure that's necessarily true. I think you learn in any situation. I'd be interested to know, you won, and so there's a justification for everything that you did. But I'd be interested to know if there's things that you would have done differently. What you learned from the experience. You're a lifelong learner, I know. So I'd be interested to know kind of what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, and it's been a busy summer, so it's not like I haven't even watched one of the games yet. And I said that's one of the things you'd like to watch because TSN does a great job, and you'd like to just sit down and take some time and watch a game. I haven't had a chance to watch a game yet, but I think you also learn that something like the value of confidence cannot be overstated or understated. I guess you could go both ways, but because, crucial situations and you just, because, you have to reach out to every player, but William Dufour, I knew that he's got to be our best player. And, I had looked up his regular season. He was second in the queue. In the playoffs, he had 1 point or 2 points in 5 games. And I had that stat to bring him into, okay, but I never had to use it, because, and he played right wing. I remember after 2 practices, I texted him and I said, listen, would you be interested in playing center tomorrow in practice just to try it? Because I think you could be really good at it. And he was like ecstatic. Coach, I played center before. I would love to play center. And we mixed and matched our top 6. Like, I always say Scotty Bowman did a little bit, and that's coach's hunches through, every coach has his hunch who could play who in certain situations. But, we put 3 really offensive guys together as one, like a 1A, 1B, I'd call it probably. And William was in the middle. Ryan France is a really gifted offensive player. And, our other guy was a centerman before. We put him on the left wing. He's an Ottawa draft pick, and put those 3 together and see what would happen, And then Josh Lawrence, this kid from Latvia, Avius, I guess he's a Pittsburgh pick. He was our best 2-way guy, and he can play center or the wing. And we had an abundance of centers, which every coach loves, So he got to play some center and allowed Josh to play some wing at times too, because Josh has tremendous offensive instincts. So, that worked. But then sometimes we'd put Josh and William, had 200 points between them. Yeah, because the top line probably, but we kind of split them up a little bit, and then we put them back together at certain times because I'm going for okay. If it doesn't go well here and I don't have them together, what are people going to say? What the heck do you break them up for? So they got a chance to play together. They're on the power play together, and obviously a big goal in the Memorial Cup final they scored with Willie there. So, but we kind of mixed and matched on hunch. Some games they stayed together more. Some games we mixed them up a lot. That type of thing. And tried different things. We tried that top 6. We just tried, the Schwinniken game. Sometimes we tried different combos in that game. With them, and it all worked out. Probably the Memorial Cup final, we probably didn't have to change the lines as much. We kind of got the lead. Everyone was playing really well. We didn't have to make that many adjustments, So overall, it worked out pretty good.
Gardiner, you mentioned you made changes, combination changes, chemistry changes in game. Can you describe that gut feeling that allowed you to create those combinations, to make changes within a game?
Yeah.
That's a lot of secrets, Wally,
I think the biggest thing that is letting the players know beforehand. And because you learn, because let's say you have a line together, like let's say Peter has a line together all year and they're doing tremendous. And then you get to the playoffs and they don't score in the first game and they don't score in the second game, and then he breaks them up. Well, from the perspective of the player, they're asking, why is the coach panicking? And that's from the players. Like, we played together all year. Why isn't he patient and loyal to us? So I've always, and I've learned that, we've had lines that have been tremendous, and sometimes when it counts, the tight check and whatever it may be. So in our scrimmages, we played with combinations. The 5 scrimmages we had, we played with different combinations. And even the first few days, because you know how players come in and, okay, who's on what line? New coach, who's on what line? And for the first 2 days, the forwards all wore red. And then by the third day, I was comfortable and saying, okay, here. And Travis and Stefan were really good. Here's lines I mean, again, they've been with this team all year. Here's lines that we think could work, and not big adjustment, but maybe just little adjustments. But they just said, like, try these. And that's what we did, and but then again, it's, players get on a new line and sometimes it ticks, sometimes it doesn't, but it's getting them to buy in. And hey, and I say, listen, there's going to be Scotty Bowman times, fellas. And, Scotty Bowman was notorious for mixing and matching. So I just call it Scotty Bowman time now. And so they knew that's going to go. And it's not always when we're losing, like, a lot of coaches, okay, it's not going well, so change the lines. It could be when we're winning. It may be, it's Dave Cameron, they asked him about Connor Bedard, why he was on this line after the semifinal game. Well, he just wasn't, there's other guys playing better. I mean, it's just, but that's, the reality, players know that's coming. So I think if again, being proactive rather than reactive, and saying, hey, these are things that can happen. This is how I coach, fellas. So if you're being moved around, that's not a bad thing. That's just a hunch on me. Trust me, and it could work out. And it's nothing more gratifying than when you make one of those little switches and the line goes out and gets a goal, or within that period or whatever, that type of thing. So some of those worked out off a face-off. We, one game we put a shooter out there. We ended up scoring a goal off a face-off, and it worked out. So. But no, I said, again, the players were really receptive. They bought into everything. And again, it's the same thing. Defensemen, you like to play 6. We played 5. We had a young guy who was a 6D. He was a 17-year-old, did okay the first game. Second game, got kind of caught out on a 2-on-1, gave up a goal, got caught on another 2-on-1, and he just went down to 5D. That's just kind of the way it is. He's young, and then just the way it won, it probably didn't get a lot of ice the rest of the tournament, but that's just sometimes the way things happen. But again, it's talking to the player, given the perspective, this is, and just be ready to play when your name's called.
Tim Bothwell.
Yeah, thanks, Wally. I just wanted to jump in because I got to actually jump off, and just wanted to thank Gardiner for coming on. It's been a treat to listen to, and it's not hard to see how you've had so much success over the years. And I look forward to maybe bumping into you somewhere down the road. But I love your comment about, confidence cannot be, the value cannot be overstated. Is one of our things as Sharks, and one of Wally's things is, a coach's number one job is to transmit belief in their players. And, through this whole hour and a half here, you can clearly see that's like front and center of in your mind all the time, is the belief in your players and the belief in your team. And it's a wonderful thing to see and hear. So thank you very much for coming on, and sorry you got to jump off, guys, but I'll certainly love to listen to the rest of this when Wally sends it out. So thanks, Gardiner, and see you guys.
Hey, it's been always a pleasure. And I love those, when I was a young coach, those presentations you did in Calgary for Hockey Canada. You and Wally were front and center in those days. And I still have the binders to my right here.